Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I actually had a pretty cool idea. So, what if I decided which duck in this game was the very best? And what I mean by that is that I would put all these guys in a tier list, and of course everyone on this planet knows what a tier list is. By the way, shout out to all the OGs out there who remember when I did a video on this a year ago. I rated every duck in the game. Well, not every duck, I forgot a few of them, but yeah, this time I did my research and I made sure to get every single duck. But even so, I still imagine I missed at least one of them, so in the comment section, if I missed any, please let me know. And by the way, I'm not including ducks that have the exact same appearance. The only exception I'm making is normal duck and cloud conflict duck, but that's it. The rest of them are going to have all different appearances, so let's just get straight into it. So number one, we're going to do normal duck, and honestly, I'm feeling kind of like mid about this. He's not really special, he's not really not special, so, just put him in a C tier, Again, he's not really special, but he's not like super OP either. He just hangs around, but he definitely still makes the game a bit complete. So I definitely say a C tier is appropriate. Now we're going to do Cloud Conflict Duck. And yes, I know they have the same appearance, but I guess they're different enough in my opinion to where I want to put on the list. And I'm just going to say he's definitely an F tier because he's kind of annoying because every now and then I'll just be trying to play the game and it'll be like, oh, you're playing on a different device, mister. You better get that fixed up, even though I only play on one device. Like, man, that's just really annoying. So I'm just gonna have to give him an F tier, man. I'm sorry. Anyways, time for number three, which would be the air detection duck actually. And honestly, he's a pretty solid guy. I'd give him an A tier because, like it's always I always feel proud, when I break the game successfully to where I get the air detection duck. And even the duck himself in the dialogue is like, wow, you broke the game big time and stuff. And usually, even when I do get the air detection duck, it's not like my game corrupts or anything. It's just a funny little, it's just a special thing that happens every once in a while. It's kind of like a holiday because like it doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it feels special. Anyways, on to the next one is the fairy duck, or like the guy who like drives everyone. Now, this guy's really good for business, and business is important. So, and he helps ranger duck as well, which is my favorite, obviously. So, yeah, he's just an overall solid guy. I wouldn't say S tier territory, but definitely an A tier in my book. Anyways, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Ranger Duck, and obviously, I'm going to give my very unbiased opinion of an S tier because he has a ranger hat and he's a duck, so, and like the best YouTuber on this platform, the best Sneaky Sasquatch YouTuber has as his profile picture, so obviously, that one's got to be the best. Anyways, moving on, we got the scuba diving duck, and I like this guy as well. He helps you out. If you're drowning, you wandering on to like, I don't know, the Bermuda Triangle, you go to the other side of the Pacific Ocean, some crap like that. He will find you no matter what. He will send you back because he's a homie for life. So I wouldn't say an S tier, but an A tier as well because, just because I feel like it. On to the credits duck. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this guy because first of all, it's not really good. I mean, it's okay, I guess. He does give credit, but that's in the stats book anyway. So he's not really important. And he copied the drip of Rich Uncle Duck. He looks the exact same as him. I said this in my original video, but yeah, I don't like him. So he gets an E tier because E. Anyways, moving on to Virtual Duck. Now, I don't know how to feel about this guy because I really don't like the fact that you have to grind like your entire life. You have to dedicate so much of your time to getting the reward for it, but the reward is pretty decent, so I'd give him a B tier because even though he's really annoying, you get that bread disc, and obviously the bread disc is pretty cool. I was gonna give the bread duck his own tier, like the bread in the computer, but I wouldn't necessarily count that because he is pretty similar to the normal duck, so unfortunately he's not getting a ranking. But yeah, B tier. All right, so the next one I have in mind is Dr. Duck. Now this is the newest duck in the game, and honestly, I'd probably say he's an A tier because he's just there for you. He can't heal you, unfortunately, but he always does his best. And when you don't have a disguise, if you start the game like a new player and you don't have disguises yet, he will help you a little bit, even though he only practices bird medicine, which is a very generous offer. And he does give you good advice, as in not dying. So yeah, good A tier. Moving on to the demolition duck, and honestly, B tier because I don't know, man. He's kind of useful. I mean, you can use him for like the river and stuff, but that's about it. And I like explosions; they're pretty fun, but that's about it. So, yeah, I'd say a B tier is kind of where I'm feeling about him. Okay, next up I have is Construction Duck, and I'd say he's definitely an S tier because he builds all this really cool stuff for your house. It looks really nice. It's pretty cheap too. He doesn't ask for money. He just steals from people. That's it. And when you rob the port, he will help you without any charge or anything. So he's definitely a homie. He's a real one. He gets an S tier. Next up, we got Fashion Duck, and I'd say a B tier really, because Fashion Duck is pretty useful and everything. Fashion Duck has some drip for sure, but I really don't like the 100 coins being charged every time, even though I'm rich. I like to be richer though, so. But yeah, overall, I'd say a B tier. I wouldn't say it's as good as the other ducks in A tier. They're just cooler, but it's still pretty cool. I'd say it's a B tier. All right, moving on to Cravings Duck, I'd probably say he's an E tier just because he's not very useful. I mean, the hat looks decent because it like matches the fisherman, but that's like the only positive thing I have to say about it. So yeah, he's getting an E tier because of that. All right, so next up I got Hat Duck because he has a hat, and honestly I'd say he's a solid C tier because he does help you win the storyline and stuff, but that's it really. So he is kind of useful. He just hangs around your house, not much else. He's kind of like, you know, he's not very important for after not a long time, so I'd say it's a C tier. Because he's not my favorite, but I don't hate him either, so that's my explanation. Now, Valet Duck is definitely an S tier for sure, no questions asked, because he gets your car no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter who you're seeing, or I don't even know what I'm saying, but he does help you no matter what. He will find your car. He doesn't charge too much for it unless you're getting like the sports bike, so I'd say he's absolutely an S tier because he just has some magic powers, man. No other duck could replicate what he does. No one knows how he drives, man. It's just a mystery. Now when we're talking about the Christmas duck, or not really the Christmas duck, but like the winter duck, snow duck, with like the red hat, I'd say it's a D tier. I mean, his hat looks kind of nice, I guess, but he doesn't really help you at all, from my knowledge, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, he's just kind of boring, man. It's just got to be a D tier. His igloo's nice though, I'll give him that, but that's the igloo, not him, so too bad. And then we got election ducks. Now, they're pretty cool. I like their earpiece. Their earpiece looks pretty nice. I was considering not ranking them, but they, like I said, they do have an earpiece, so I definitely would rank them as an A tier because they do teach you very important lessons like friendship, like the way like people act in this game with like the signs and stuff. You know, they're pretty solid. I'd say they're A tier, not quite S tier because they don't have magic powers or anything. But whatever. I'd say an A tier is pretty solid. I know I put a lot of that stuff in A tier, but there's just so many A tiers, man. I just can't help it. And for the final ranking, I will be ranking Rich Uncle Duck, and this might surprise some of you, but I'd say a B tier. He's not like the best of the best, but he does give pretty solid advice, although he's not the most useful in the game. But yeah, I'd say he's pretty cool. And he raised, I guess if you watch my lore video on him, he kind of raised Ranger Duck and Construction Duck. He kind of influenced them, so I'll give him credit for that as well. But I wouldn't say he's an A tier quite yet. I'd say he's just shy of an A tier, but a B tier is pretty solid. And yeah, and to my knowledge, that is every duck in the game that's like has a different appearance and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you guys agree with my tier list. If you disagree with my tier list, then your opinion is just wrong, man. I'm sorry, but yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like and sub, and maybe in another 2 years or so, I'm just gonna see if there's more ducks I can rank, and just to see in general how much my opinion changed. And for any of those curious, here's my tier list from last year, or the tier list I did like a year ago, and here's like the differences. So yeah, that's cool stuff. And I did miss a couple of them last year, but because I think in this tier list there's like a few more ducks. There's like 5-ish more ducks in this tier list. I'm not entirely sure how many more there are, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this video. Peace.